So, good evening, one and all, and I'm thankful to Professor Guru that he has consented to speak on nature and significance of political theory. In the earlier talk, Professor Acharya he deliberated on uh, conceptualization of political theory, and while discussing that talk with Guru Sir, I saw that he is saying something, different, and that's why I requested him, sir, why not you speak on political theory? So I slightly changed the title. So I put the title Nature and Significance of the Political Theory. And here you will find today's speaker and the earlier speaker. They may, you know, uh, talk on the same theme, but differently. In social science, it is all about the interpretation. It is all about, how you approach a particular theme or particular, reality. So on a same topic, different speakers will speak differently, and we have to understand their differences. That's how we can understand the political theory. Though political theory always in search of certainty, but somewhere political theory cannot disregard the uncertainty. So it has to accept the uncertainty. So, we know Professor Shyama Prasad Guru. He is a popular teacher in political science, across Odisha, and more particularly this Western Odisha. And he is a popular teacher, a person who understands political theory, a person who thinks that political scientists they should think like or they should work like David Stone, then Almond and Powell. He's a person who is really interested to give a concrete shape to the political science. So political science should be a solution to the emerging problems, right? So that's why he is very interesting personality. Uh, Coming to today's topic, that nature and significance of political theory, political theory. So we see that political theory mostly it is a Western, construct, and in West, this political theory is actually more than 2,300 years old, and political theory has been shaped and reshaped by kings, by philosophers, by popes, by highwaymen of every sort. The number of political theorizers are very large, and when we consider the number of uh, you know personal problems and private feuds that have been made into public issues, though there are number of genuine public issues, one might then expect political theory to be the complex and varied field of inquiry. So political theory is both scientific and speculative while explaining political realities, that is state. Every theory uh, by its nature is an explanation built upon certain hypothesis, and which may be or may not be valid, but it is always open to criticism. So in this sense, the history of political theory is actually the history of man's political life. I'm repeating, the history of political theory is the mystery of man's political life. I do not know whether today's speaker, Guru Sir, will agree with this statement or not, but in social science, we agree to disagree. So with this, provocative introduction, I invite today's speaker to start his deliberation on this topic, the nature and significance of political theory. So whether this nature and significance is something which is static, or there is a changing, or can we say that there is a changing dynamics of nature and significance of political theory, or it is like old wine in a new bottle. So how to understand political theory, how to understand its nature and significance, and how to work on political theory, certainly today's talk will help us in that direction. So with this, I am inviting Professor Guru to start his deliberation on this topic. Yes, Guru sir.
Yes. My dear students, senior faculty members, erudite research scholars who constitute the audience of today's web discussions. I thank you all for your keen interest in listening to my abstract, abstruse, and sterile discussions and deliberations on a very abstract topic, nature and significance of political theory. I also, at the same time, thank Himanshu, the convener of these web discussions, for his request to deliver this talk for the benefit of the students, specifically students, the undergraduate and postgraduate students. So far as today's discussions are concerned, on the topic entitled The Nature and Significance of Political Theory, when Himanshu requested me to deliberate on it, I immediately agreed and gave my consent. And my consent is based on two grounds. The first ground is the importance of the topic. As I understand it, this topic is of tremendous importance for each and every student of political science. The reason is, it is a foundational topic, and clarity is necessary for students of political science to build one's academic development, one's academic career, one's academic pursuits and understanding on this foundational topic. And my second ground is my disappointment and dissatisfaction with the discussions by some earlier speakers on this same topic. You may call it same or similar or identical. A few days ago, Himanshu organized web discussions on the same topic entitled A Conceptual Understanding of a Political Theory. I find this topic, the very nomenclature, the caption, it's confusing and confounding. The reason is, political theory itself is a conceptual scheme. So what is the necessity of prefixing it? A conceptual understanding of political theory. What do you mean by it? It is just like confusing, or it is confusing like understanding the hotness of fire or the liquidity of water. Water itself is liquid. Fire is itself hot. So, what do you mean by this capsule? Conceptual understanding of political theory. It seems that this topic is confusing, confounding, misleading. A conceptual understanding of political theory, in my perception, would culminate in misunderstanding or lack of understanding or a deficient understanding of the topic. I wish that the students of political science need to have clarity of understanding so far as this foundational topic is concerned. As regards this topic, some pertinent questions need to be addressed and answered. What is political theory? The first one. What do we mean by political theory? What is the evolution of political theory from antiquity till date, from time to time? What are the defining attributes of political theory? What are the different types of political theory? What are the foundational premises of political theory? As the political theories have evolved in different times from antiquity till date. And what is the significance of political theory? Why should we read political theory? These pertinent questions need to be addressed to respondent and understood with absolute clarity by each and every student of political science. If at all one is interested in writing a befitting answer in examinations, answering questions in an interview, or undertaking research activities on any topic relating to political science. Because theory is the foundation of any research activity. Without a theory, no phenomenon, no empirical phenomenon can be addressed to and researched meaningfully and adequately. This is the reason why I wish to address the students on this very important topic. Of course, in my discussions and deliberations, I will present my perceptions, which others may differ. But there must be a debate on it. There must be discussions and dialogues on it, so that clarity of understanding would emerge and students will be benefited. Let me first commence my discussions and deliberations on the first question. What is political theory? So far as this caption is concerned, this question is concerned, political theory may be defined in a very general term, in a layman's sense of view, as a theory of politics. This is a layman understanding. This is general common understanding. Political theory may be understood as a theory of politics. And for understanding a theory of politics or political theory, we need to have an understanding of the term theory and also the term politics, correlate these two and try to find out the defining attributes and significance in it. So far as the term theory is concerned, theory connotes a coherent conceptual scheme. I repeat it, coherent conceptual scheme. It is a scheme of ideas. It is a scheme of ideas which are born from the mind of individual, born in the mind of individual, and communicated through expressions by an individual, by a human being. A coherent conceptual scheme, the ideas, the concepts are interrelated with one another. Therefore, we call it a coherent conceptual scheme, a scheme of interrelated ideas. Therefore, we may define political theory as a coherent conceptual scheme. For what? For understanding and explaining a phenomenon or phenomena. we find and observe varieties of phenomena in this universe. Physical phenomena, material phenomena, ecological phenomena, biological phenomena, social phenomena, economic phenomena, political phenomena, varieties of phenomena we come across and observe. And as human beings, we intend to understand the phenomena which interest us. So theory is a coherent conceptual scheme for understanding a phenomena or phenomenon. And we can understand a phenomenon on analyzing it. For analyzing a phenomenon, we need a theory. So we have to devise a theory, design a theory as a coherent conceptual scheme, apply our coherent conceptual scheme for analyzing a phenomenon, and then undertake endeavors to understand it, to explain it. Therefore, without a theory, no phenomenon in this world can be understood and explained adequately and meaningfully. Whatever may be the phenomenon. So theory may be defined as a coherent conceptual scheme deliberately designed by a human being for human beings. It is a human enterprise. It is an academic enterprise undertaken by an intellectual who is a human being for the benefit of mankind, for human beings. This is a general perception of theory which relates to each and every theory in this universe. Take, for instance, a phenomenon like taking a lunch. We intend to take a lunch. For understanding the phenomenon lunch, we need to have a theory of a lunch. We must design in our mind, either manifestly or latently. When you go to the lunch table, we bring with us a theory of lunch while taking a lunch there. That there is a time of lunch. If you take it in the midday, it is called lunch. If you take the food in the night, it is called dinner or supper. If you take the food in the morning, it is called breakfast. So there is a time factor also involved there. At the same time, we have a perception, we have a set of ideas regarding lunch plate. It is composed of rice, dal, rotis, curries, mutton, chicken, curd, salad, etc. So we have with us a theory of lunch which we bring to the lunch table while taking the lunch itself in reality. So understanding lunch, the phenomenon called lunch, becomes easier for us, systematic for us, when we prepare a theory of lunch and analyze the lunch plate on the dining table and take it. Similarly, whatever may be the phenomenon, whether physical, material, ecological, biological, social, economic, or political, whatever may be, we must have a concerned or a relevant theory with us. Either we must design it or we must borrow it, so that we can analyze the phenomenon, the concerned phenomenon, on the basis of that theory, and try to understand it and explain it for the benefit of mankind. Therefore, theory may be defined as a human enterprise, deliberately designed by a human being for the benefit of human being. This is the general understanding of the term theory. And when political phenomena are sought to be understood by us, explained by us, analyzed by us, we design a political theory. So political theory is a theory of politics. It is a theory concerning politics. And what is the significance of a political theory? It helps us in analyzing political phenomenon or phenomena and facilitates our understanding and explanation of the concerned phenomena with which we are interested to study. This is the significance of political theory. So without political theory, no political phenomenon can be adequately, clearly, systematically, and meaningfully be understood. This is the significance. Therefore, every student of political science who is interested in understanding any political phenomena need to have the relevant and concerned political theory with him. Analyze the phenomena and then try to understand it meaningfully and come to conclusion. And the ultimate aim is the benefit of mankind. This is the general perception of the term political theory. This is the significance of political theory as well. But the nature of political theory, the defining attributes of political theory are found to be different from time to time. In the process of evolution of political theory, depending on the way we define the term politics. It is our notion on politics, our understanding of the term politics, for the analysis of which we design a theory, what we term as political theory, that the nature of political theory is conditioned accordingly. So the defining attributes of the nature of political theory are the product of our understanding of the term politics. Our definition on the term politics. And how do we define politics? So far as the definitions on politics are concerned, or definitional discourses on the term politics is concerned, there are many definitions, varieties of definitions. There is no universal definition or single definition on politics. There is found semantic differences on the term politics in defining it, in understanding this notion, and designing political theory accordingly. But when you look at the definitional discourses on politics, we may identify two major types of notions or definitions, two major clusters of definitions. One cluster may be termed as the traditional notion or definition on politics, another may be termed as the modern notion or definition on politics. So depending upon the traditional definition or notion on politics, traditional theories have been designed by mankind, by human beings, by intellectuals, by scholars. And on the basis of the modern notion on politics, modern political theories have been designed and formulated by scholars. So two major types of political theories may be noted. So far as the substantive concern is concerned, and so far as the time dimension also is concerned. If you look at the time dimension, traditional theories emerged in 4th century BC and it prevailed up to the end of the 19th century AD. Because during this period, from 4th century BC to the end of 19th century, the traditional notion on politics prevailed, accepted, and applied by most of the scholars of this world. Whereas from the beginning of the 20th century, a modern definition on politics emerged, and on the basis of which modern theories of politics have been formulated. And the modern phase in the process of evolution of political theories we come to note. So what is the traditional notion on politics on which the traditional political theory may be designed or have been designed? The most important traditional notion on politics is the notion of Aristotle, who is acknowledged as the father of political science. Credit goes to Aristotle to provide a very compact definition on politics for the first time in the world in 4th century BC. A coherent and cogent definition of politics was offered by Aristotle for the first time. And that is one of the reasons why he is acknowledged as the father of political science. One of the reasons. Father of all discipline. And what is the notion of Aristotle, who is generally considered as the traditional notion, which has been accepted by most of the scholars as a valid notion from 4th century BC till the end of 19th century AD? Aristotle defines politics as the affairs of the polis, Greek word polis, P-O-L-I-S, meaning the state. Affairs of the polis or the state conducted by its agent, the government, on the basis of the provisions of a constitution for attainment of a life of virtue for the people as a whole. This is the notion on politics, for the first time given by Aristotle to mankind. Affairs of the polis, affairs of the state, conducted by its agent, the government, conduct the affairs of the state on the basis of the provisions of a constitution. Constitution is the highest legal document of the state, therefore. The government is the highest political institution of the society. Constitution is the highest legal document of the fundamental document of the society. So the government as the highest institution under the aegis of the state conduct the affairs of the state on the basis of the provisions of the constitution. For what? For attainment or realization of a life of virtue for the people of the society as a whole. So the ultimate end of politics is attainment of a life of virtue, the best political existence for mankind on this earth. That is the ultimate goal, which is sought to be realized or attained through politics. When the government conducts the affairs of the state on the basis of the provisions of the constitution. This is Aristotle's notion on politics. A notion, a very compact and coherent notion, provided for the first time by Aristotle to mankind. And what are the implications of this notion on politics? The government is the highest institution. So when politics is to be studied or analyzed, when political theorization would be undertaken, when political theories are to be built for understanding politics, focus must be accorded to the government as the highest institution of the state, which conducts its affairs. And secondly, to the constitution, which is the highest land, highest law of the land, on the basis of which the affairs of the state are expected to be conducted by the government. And thirdly, to the attainment of a life of virtue, the best political life for mankind on this earth. That is the norm, that is the value. So this definition on politics contains an approach for the analysis of politics, for political theorization and analysis as well. And this approach for political theorization and analysis is what is termed as the traditional approach. A traditional approach is essentially characterized by the elements or attributes of, therefore, institutionalism, legalism, and normativism. Because if we accept Aristotle and follow Aristotle, political theory needs to be designed and political analysis needs to be conducted for inquiring into and ascertaining the legal aspect of the state, the institutional aspect of the state, the normative aspect of the state. So legalism, institutionalism, and normativism, these are the three defining attributes of the traditional approach. And these attributes, these traditional attributes also characterize traditional political theory, theories which are built or designed on the basis of this traditional notion and approach of politics as proved by Aristotle in the 4th century BC. So traditional political theory, which emerged with this definition of Aristotle in 4th century BC, characterized by the attributes of legalism, institutionalism, and normativism, prevailed in the intellectual circus as intellectual pursuits for a very long time, from 4th century BC till the end of the 19th century. Most of the scholars during this period accepted this notion of politics of Aristotle and built theories for analyzing and understanding politics and political phenomena. So traditional political theories, so far as its prime concerns are concerned, is characterized by search for legalism, search for institutionalism, search for normativism as well. These are the three prime concerns, academic concerns of traditional political theory, built and designed from the time of Aristotle till the end of 19th century by a large number of scholars for undertaking academic endeavors, for analyzing politics and political phenomena and understanding them for the benefit of mankind. And this trend continued for about 2,500 years, from 4th century BC till the end of the 19th century AD. The first phase came to an end. The first phase of evolution of political theory came to an end with the conclusion of 19th century AD. With the beginning of the 20th century AD, a new phase in the process of evolution of political theory commenced. Why? What is the reason? Because with the beginning of the 20th century, scholars are dissatisfied because they found that the traditional political theories and traditional patterns of political analysis were deficient in solving the pressing problems of mankind, socio-economic and political. The problems of mankind, social, economic, and political, could not be adequately addressed to and solved on the basis of the traditional political theories which have been designed and formulated from the time of Aristotle to the end of 19th century. They found which have been formulated for such a long period, for about the last 2,500 years, were the product of ivory tower thinking, because these theories were formal, superficial, unrelated to the ground realities of socio-political life of the people. These are found to be the product of ivory tower thinking. These are intellectual exercises, no doubt. But they were incapable of solving the pressing problems of mankind. Therefore, traditional political theories were considered by some scholars as a socially irrelevant. These were building castles in the air, just like. But people of this world, mankind, faced problems which are concrete, actual. On the basis of fiction, on the basis of idealism, on the basis of formalism, related to the ground realities of socio-political life, no concrete problems of mankind can be solved. This was the perception of some scholars. And at the same time, some scholars, these dissatisfied scholars, these scholars were dissatisfied with the traditional political theories and the traditional pattern of political analysis, were tremendously influenced by the newly emerging pure sciences. Toward the advent of the 20th century, pure sciences like physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, medicines, engineering, these pure sciences had already been founded and established, enriched, fostered. And the intellectual tendency was therefore characterized by scientism, born out of the pure sciences. And therefore, coming under the impact or influence of pure sciences, some scholars who were dissatisfied with the inadequacy of traditional political theories looked to the pure sciences for inspiration and encouragement in designing realistic actual political theories, scientific political theories for addressing and solving the pressing problems of life. So traditional political theories were considered to have declined in public esteem, admiration. So there was a need for designing and forming scientific political theories which can address to the problems of mankind and solve them. So the scientific political theories. For forming these scientific political theories, there was needed a scientific definition on politics, a new definition on politics, a modern definition of politics. I call it modern definition because this is a scientific definition. Scientism and modernism are identical. That is the perception. What is scientific is modern, and what is modern needs to be scientific. So there was a need for conceptualizing a modern definition on politics. That is a scientific definition on politics. That is a realistic definition on politics. So pure sciences provided the impetus to these scholars interested in the study of politics, in building political theories, undertaking political analysis. And they were inspired by the scientific premises of pure sciences. And what are the premises of pure sciences? The first one is the premise of factualism. Second one is the premise of objectivism. And third one is the premise of causalism. Factualism, objectivism, and causalism. These are the three basic premises of pure sciences. Science is not concerned with fiction or imagination or idealism. It is essentially concerned with a realistic study, an actual study of the phenomenon, and a factual study of the phenomenon. It is concerned with an impartial study of phenomenon, that is objectivism. It is concerned with a causal study of phenomenon. It investigates into the cause of a phenomenon, the roots of the phenomenon, brings about a linkage between the cause and effect. These are the scientific premises of pure sciences. So the premises of the pure sciences influenced greatly the scholars interested in designing political theory and undertaking political analysis. And for that purpose, there was needed a scientific definition, a factual definition, a realistic definition, an objective definition, a causal definition on politics, a modern definition on politics. And to address this need of the time, a number of scholars volunteered, undertook intellectual exercises. But the leadership was taken by two great scholars in the beginning of the 20th century. And these two great scholars were Graham Wallace, the first one, and secondly, Arthur F. Bentley. Graham Wallace, in his book, Human Nature in Politics, and Arthur Bentley, in his book, The Process of Government. These two books were published in the year 1908. And in these two books, a new definition on politics, a scientific definition on politics, a modern scholars. They contributed, they initiated the process of formulation of modern political theories, scientific political theories. In these two great works, which challenged the traditional definition on politics of Aristotle, and which challenged the traditional theories of politics designed by scholars from 4th century basic till the end of the 19th century. This new notion made the people of the society aware that if we are interested to undertake an endeavor for solving the socio-economic and political problems of mankind, we need to design modern political theories. And what is that modern definition on politics on which modern political theories are to be designed or were designed? Graham Wallace and Bentley. They defined politics as a kind of actual political activity, a form of actual political behavior, a kind of human activity, a kind of actual human activity, a kind of actual human behavior in relation to the governance in a state. Understand this definition. It is a kind of actual human activity, not formal human activity. Earlier, the definition was on formalism, focused on formalism, provisions of the Constitution, activities undertaken by the government for implementing the provisions of the Constitution for attainment of a life of virtue. Again, normativism. So factualism was emphasized, is found to be embedded so far as this definition is concerned. a kind of actual human activity or actual human behavior in relation to the governance of the state by the government. So a shift was made from formalism, legalism, and formalism, or including legalism and institutionalism on one hand, and normativism on the other. A shift was made to actualism, that is behavior, activity, actual activity. So what the members of the government do in reality in undertaking the governance of the state, that becomes the moot concern for study and analysis, so far as politics of the society is concerned. And therefore, this definition on politics inaugurated or commenced the behavioral approach to political theory building and analysis. Political theories are required to be made on the basis of the actual behavior of the members of the government who conduct governance in a society as members of the government. Theories are to be built. Scientific theories are to be built, not on the basis of the norms or the values or the ultimate goal or the provisions of the Constitution. So institutionalism, legalism, and normativism were rejected. Realism, that is what is understood, or actualism, what is called as the scientism, was focused and championed. So this definition on politics brought about a sea change in our understanding of politics, in our academic endeavor in designing political theories, in our academic endeavor in undertaking political analysis as well. So a total revolution was made. This is the genesis of the behavioral approach, behavioral persuasion, or behavioral orientation to political theorization and analysis. And that is the reason why Graham Wallas and Arthur Bentley are acknowledged as the father of modern political theory and analysis. They are the founding fathers, because they initiated, they conceptualized for the first time in human history, and they initiated the process of scientific political theorization and analysis. On the basis of this scientific definition or realistic definition on politics as a kind of human behavior, a form of human activity concerning the governance of the state by the members of the government. And this behavioral persuasion or orientation to political theorization and analysis subsequently influenced a number of scholars and intellectuals. It was enriched by Charles C. Merriam in 1925, the head of the Department of Political Science in Chicago University of USA. As we come across his concepts and ideas in the book, New Aspects of Politics. And it was continued further in that same University of Chicago. University of Chicago, USA, was the center of modern political thinking, greatly influenced by Graham Wallas and Arthur Bentley. Modern political theory commenced, theorization commenced, modern political analysis or behavioral political analysis commenced. Scientific political theories, causal political theories, objective political theories Factual political theories or political theories characterized by factualism. Objectivism and causalism were designed subsequently because of the inspiration of Charles C. Merriam in the University of Chicago, followed subsequently by his students, Harold Laswell, for instance, and David Truman also. And the trend continued for some time. But this behavioral approach, no doubt, was initiated in the first quarter or first half of the 20th century, gradually being enriched by the academic contributions of some scholars, but it gained worldwide popularity and acceptance only after the conclusion of the Second World War in 1945. Second World War came to an end in 1945. And it was in the aftermath of the conclusion of the Second World War in 1945, in the years that followed the conclusion of the Second World War in 1945, that formulation of a modern political theories and undertaking modern political analysis became tremendously enriched, fostered worldwide. A large number of scholars were tremendously influenced by the ideas of Graham Wallas and Bentley, borrowed by Merriam, communicated by Harold Laswell and David Truman, and other great scholars of Chicago University. It became a worldwide academic enterprise by political scientists after 1945, with the conclusion of the Second World War. Why? Why after 1945, when Second World War was concluded, modern political theorization and analysis founded on the behavioral notion on politics of Graham Wallas and Bentley became enriched and flourished to a very great extent. Why? And the reason was the devastating consequences of the Second World War. When Second World War came to an end in 1945, it produced devastating consequences for the people of the world as a whole. Almost all the world, including the victorious and the vanquished, affected by the pernicious consequences, detrimental consequences of the Second World War. People of almost all the states of the world suffered from abysmal poverty. There was economic ruin of almost all the states. Widespread social disintegration. Economically, the states were ruined, they collapsed. Socially, they were disintegrated. So far as well-being is concerned, people suffered from diseases, squalor, lived in unhygienic places, abysmal poverty, large-scale unemployment. These were the pressing problems which mankind faced as a consequence of the Second World War, which concluded in 1945. So almost every state of the world needed socio-economic reconstruction for developing their own societies, economically, socially, and politically. And for that purpose, the leaders and statesmen, the rulers of almost all the states of the world, invited concrete schemes and plans of actions from intellectuals and scholars to bring about socio-economic reconstruction in their own societies. The scholars, the intellectuals must come to the rescue of the people in devising schemes of action, plans of actions for the well-being of the people, for the well-being of the mankind as a whole. And in that process of socio-economic reconstruction, intellectuals or scholars belonging to the discipline of sociology, psychology, anthropology, they contributed significantly. But political scientists or scholars belonging to the discipline of political science found themselves inadequate to contribute to the process of socio-economic and political reconstruction as needed in different societies or states of the world in the aftermath of the conclusion of the Second World War. So political scientists or scholars interested in the study of politics, the then scholars, they felt humiliated, undertook self-introspection. What is the reason why we are not able to contribute substantially for the benefit of mankind? And they traced their deficiency or inadequacy to the traditional political theories again. The formalism of traditional political theories, the legalism and institutionalism of traditional political theories, the normativism or idealism of traditional political theories were considered to be the root cause. Why? Traditional political theories and patterns of political analysis could not provide any solution to the pressing problems of mankind. Therefore, they took the inspiration from Brahmawalad and Bentley. They took the inspiration from Charles C. Merriam, Harold Laswell, David Truman, the then established behavioralists, political behavioralists. And at that time, in the Department of Political Science in the University of Chicago, Professor David Easton was heading the department. So Professor David Easton and like-minded scholars, they organized an intellectual movement in the aftermath of the conclusion of the Second World War in 1945 to provide a scientific basis to political theorization and analysis. That was the need of the time. And that intellectual movement is popularly known as the behavioral movement in the discipline of political science. Behavioral movement in the discipline of political science. And behavioral movement focused on scientism in politics. It intended to provide a scientific foundation to political theorization and analysis. It focused on formation of scientific political theories. And what are the scientific political theories? The political theories which must cater to the actual needs of the people. The political theories which are based on factualism, objectivism, causalism. So the focus was on providing the scientific foundation to politics. And this behavioral movement therefore focused on two major principles or tenets. The first one is value-fact dichotomy, the principle of value-fact dichotomy. And the second one is SOR correlationship. What is that value fact dichotomy? Fact must be kept separated from values in undertaking an academic endeavor, in designing political theories and undertaking political analysis. Complete separation between facts and values. Because science is premised on factualism. Science is premised on objectivism. Science is premised on causalism. So facts must be separated from values. Values have no place in political theorization and analysis. If values will enter into it, the theory, the analysis can never become scientific. This is the principle of value-fact dichotomy. And the second one is the principle of S capital, O capital, R capital, co-relationship. S stands for stimulus or stimuli, O for organism, R for response. These three S, O, R are correlated with one another. The behavior of the individual, political behavior, actual political activities of the individual needs to be made the basis of a political theorization and analysis. And for that purpose, the root of a political behavior or activities must be investigated into and be correlated. O is the organism, the individual. S is the stimulant. What are the causal factors of its political behavior or activities? Those are to be found out. Why? The question of why must be answered, investigated. Why an individual behaves the way he behaves in the sphere of politics? Why members of the government act the way they act in the decision-making process of a society? So cause-effect relationship, the relationship between political behavior or activities at the level of the individual, at the level of the government, at the level of the incumbents of political officers need to be correlated with their causal factors. So causal factors of political behavior needs to be inquired into. That is cause-effect relationship, causalism, which is the basic premise of pure sciences. Then only a scientific study is possible. It must be objective. The researcher has no preference in undertaking political research. His personal values cannot enter into his research activities. He must be objective. At the same time, he must find out cause and effect relationship, the relationship between political behavior or activities and the causal factors. And what are the causal factors? The individual's psychology. Political behavior doesn't occur in vacuum. Political behavior or activity at the level of the individual or at the level of the incumbents of institutions is very much a product or outcome of his psychology. Behavior emanates from psychology. Behavior is embedded in the psychology. And psychology is characterized by the individual's biology and sociology. The biology of the individual, his gender, his gene, they decide to a very great extent. At the same time, his sociology, his family, his caste, his tribe, his language, his religion, his region, all this taken together constitute his biology, is the sociology. So biology and sociology of the individual taken together or combined together condition the individual's psychology or mindset. And it is the mind of the individual or psychology of the individual as conditioned by his sociology and biology determine his political behavior of an activity and answers the question as to why an individual behaves the way he behaves in the sphere of politics. why an incumbent of the government behaves or works the way he works in the sphere of politics. These are the basic tenets of political behavioralism, characterized, which was focused by the behavioral movement, organized under academic leadership of David Stern in the aftermath of the conclusion of the Second World War in 1945. And basing on these basic premises of a political behavioralism, a new definition in politics, a most modern definition in politics was needed. And that was provided or offered by no one other than David Stern himself. Keeping in view the basic premises of the behavioral movement, Stern defined politics anew in a very coherent, in a very comprehensive, in a very realistic, in a very behavioral, in a very compact way. It is a comprehensive and compact definition. I call it comprehensive because it is extensively wide. And what is its definition on politics, notion on politics? Politics is a kind of actual human activity or behavior in relation to the entire process of authoritative allocation of values for a society. This is the definition. He has been inspired by the notion of Gramwalas and Bentley. And on the basis of this inspiration, or keeping in view, or being influenced by this inspiration, he defined politics as a kind of human activity, actual activity or behavior in relation to the entire process of authoritative allocation of values for a society. Entire process of authoritative allocation of values. What does it mean? What are values? Values are the emotional preferences of the individuals conditioned by their total life experiences. Emotional preferences, their likes and dislikes. On what? On the issues of the society. The society in which they live and work. They face problems. They face issues. And what are the major types of issues? Societal issues. It may be divided into 4 broad categories. The first one, societal organization, how the society is to be organized. Second one, societal leadership. Third one, societal domestic policies. Fourth one, societal foreign policies. These are the 4 broad categories of societal issues. On these issues, people of a society form their values, their likes and dislikes, their preferences, what should be done, what should not be done. And these values, their preferences, come out in the form of their demands. So people have demands on varieties of issues of the society which they face, which they intend to solve. And these demands are addressed to whom? To the government of the society, because government is the decision maker, government decides. And government is the authority of the society. So the demands of the people on varieties of society issues are communicated or addressed to the government. And it's the government which makes decisions in the form of public policies. And those public policies are implemented over the people for their benefit. This is the political process. So the entire process of authoritative allocation of values involves 3 major types of human activities or behavior in a society. The first one, the way values come to be formulated and the authority is made aware of them. Second types of activities, the way the values are digested at the level of the authority and authoritative decisions are produced. And third one, the way authoritative decisions are implemented over the people of a society for the purpose of maintaining a situation of law, order, stability, and viability. These are the three major types of activities, political activities. Activities relating to each of these three types may be termed as a political activity, a political behavior. So what is a political activity? What is a political behavior? We may call political behavior is that activity or political activity is that activity or political behavior is that activity, that behavior which is related to the way values come to be formulated and the authority is made over of them. The way authority digests the values produces authoritative decisions. The way authoritative decisions are implemented over the people. So if an activity or behavior is related to all these three types of activities or any one of these three types of activities is to be termed as a political activity or political behavior. And this definition is a very comprehensive one because it involves all the members of the society, not merely the incumbents of the government. In case of Graham-Wallas and Bentley, they confined the scope of politics only to the members of the government. But Eastern experienced it, made it comprehensive, wide, including all members of the society. Because politics is concerned with the entire process of authoritative allocation of values, including all members of the society. So people of the society as a whole have their demands. They address their demands. The demands are made into decisions and decisions are implemented. And the consequence is order and stability and viability in society. This is the most modern definition in politics, most comprehensive definition in politics, most compact definition in politics, and most scientific definition in politics, because it is behavioral definition, a realistic definition in politics. And on this basis of this modern or behavioral or scientific notion on politics, an increasing number of scholars made themselves involved in designing modern political theories and undertook modern political analysis. So modern political theory cum analysis is essentially characterized by, what are the prime concerns? It is essentially characterized by a few prime academic concerns. First one is search for realism, search for precision, search for comprehensiveness, search for universalism, and search for mega intellectual orders or macro intellectual orders. These are the defining attributes of modern political theory. Modern political theory needs to be constructed on the basis of facts and must reject values. A political scientist interested in undertaking modern political analysis is not expected to give his value preferences. He is not expected to say what is good or bad, what is right or wrong in his analysis, in his theorization. He is only to describe, and that too objectively, and that too causally. So modern political theories are causal political theories. These are not a value political theory. Search for realism, search for precision. Scientific techniques of data collection and data analysis must be adopted. There is no place for emotions or subjectivism. Search for comprehensiveness. The totality of a political life of a society needs to be investigated and inquired into. search for universalism. All societies, all political societies of the world must come under the scope of political theorization and analysis. Search for macro political intellectual orders, designing grand theories which have universal application and validity. These are the defining attributes of modern political theory. And intellectual endeavors were undertaken from 1945 for about 25 years under the inspiring leadership of David Easton and a number of scholars. And we come across a few very significant modern political theories. For instance, the decision-making theory of Harold de Lasswell, power theory of Robert et al., group theory of David Truman, game theory of William H. Riker, political systems theory of David Easton, theory of structural functional co-relationship of Gabriel Allman, political culture theory of Gabriel Allman and Sidney Warwall, political cybernetic theory of Carl W. Dutz, political participation theory of Lester W. Milbrath, political development theory of Lucien W. Pai, and many others associated with it. These are some of the very significant modern political theories which have been designed and formulated by great modern political scientists of the world for undertaking modern political analysis, scientific political analysis. Because modern political analysis cannot be undertaken without modern political theory. So modern political theory provides the guidelines, the parameters, the conceptual scheme, coherent conceptual scheme on the basis of which modern political analysis or modern analysis of political phenomena may be undertaken for the benefit of mankind. Again, I am using the word for the benefit of modern mankind. These intellectual endeavors are undertaken. And this trend continued for about 25 years. But towards the end of the 1970s, again, a number of behaviorally oriented political scientists, including David Easton, became disillusioned with modern political theorization and analysis, or the political behavioralism, or the fundamental tenets of behavioral movement. Why? Because towards the end of 1970s, political scientists, a number of political scientists, observed and became convinced that modern political theories are also inadequate and incapable of solving the pressing problems of mankind. During that time, people of this world faced a number of pressing problems, glaring problems. For instance, emergence of a number of dictatorial and authoritarian political regimes in a number of states of the world, in Asia, Africa, Latin America, Middle East, East European area, with the consequence of significant decline in human rights and human values. This is a very glaring problem. Human values were ignored. Ignoration of human values and human rights in these newly emerging dictatorial and authoritarian states. Another one is the emergence of civil uprisings, student protest, large-scale unemployment of the people, economic problem, economic inflation, deflation, stagflation. These were the phenomena faced by a number of societies of this world. Cold War scenario and actual war among different states in 70s and 80s. Nuclear proliferation and the prospect of a nuclear war which would damage and devastate the total mankind of this world. These pressing problems could not be solved by these newly formulated modern political theories. That was the problem. Why? Why modern political theories were found to be inadequate? Because modern political theories only described political reality without prescribing. Modern political theories do not contain any values as to what is good or bad, what is right or wrong, what is just or unjust, what is praiseworthy or condemnable. And modern political scientists are not expected to proffer their values or give their opinion or judgments. They simply will collect data scientifically, analyze them, and put the facts. So value judgments are not contained in these political analysis or theories, modern political theories. Therefore, modern political theories and analysis were found to be inadequate to solve the newly emerging socio-economic political problems of mankind in the 1970s. So a number of scholars become dissatisfied. They found there was a need for reviving political theory to bring it high up in the public esteem and admiration. And it can be relevant. And political theories can rise up in public esteem. It can contribute to the benefit of mankind, provided it becomes socially relevant, socially useful. And it can become socially useful only if it provides value prescriptions. It must tell the people of this world what is good or bad, what is right or wrong, what is just or unjust, what is praiseworthy or condemnable in the sphere of politics. So there was the need for making political theorization and analysis socially relevant and useful. And that is why none other than Professor David Stern, who heralded the behavioral movement, again gave a clarion call for organizing another intellectual movement in the sphere of, in the discipline of political science. And that intellectual movement is popularly known as the post-behavioral movement. In his address to the American Political Science Association and to the political scientists of the world at large, Stern in 1969 gave a clarion call to make political theorization analysis socially relevant. And it can become socially relevant provided it contains value prescriptions. It must not only be concerned with the description, it must also prescribe. That is what is just or unjust. It must educate the people. If a political scientist will not tell what is good or bad in the sphere of politics, how can people be educated? Common people are ignorant. Political scientists are the specialists. They must come forward and tell the people on the basis of their analysis of politics that this should be done, that should not be done. They must advise the government. This public policy should be enacted and that should be, the other one should be repealed or abrogated. This was the need of the time. So a post-behavioral movement was organized in the discipline of political science in 1969. The same behavioralists, they became members of the post-behavioral movement. And they continued the post-behavioral movement. And the post-behavioral movement emphasized on the basic premise of relevance and action. Academic endeavors at political theorization and analysis must become socially relevant. And political scientists need to be action-oriented. Orientation to action and social relevance, these are the two requirements. If at all our academic activities as political scientists would be recognized by mankind and will rise up in public esteem and admiration. Therefore, it must be kept in mind, as it is explained by Aristotle, that value-free political theory is an impossibility. And it is also not desirable to make political theory value-free. Value-free political theory, designing political theories free from values, only on the basis of facts, is an impossibility. Why? Because the political scientist is an individual, a human being who is born in a family, reared up in a social environment, in a definite society. And in the process of his life from birth till he gradually grows up, he gains values, forms values in his mind. His mind is characterized by values. So values do constitute an integral part of his personality. So despite his ardent and honest endeavor, he can never make himself value-free. May not be manifestly, but latently his value premises will enter into selection of the research problem and analysis of the research problem. Values are an integral part of the individual's personality. It is not just like a coat or a shirt that is external to this body, so that we can put off the shirt or the coat on the hanger. It is within us. It characterizes our mindset. It gets reflected in our thinking, in our activities as well. So formulation of value-free political theory or modern political theory or scientific political theory or causal political theory, whatever name we may give it, is an impossibility. At the same time, it is undesirable to make political theory value-free. Undesirable. Why? Because it is a human enterprise by a human being for a human being. If at all we are concerned with giving benefit to mankind through our intellectual endeavors, we must say what is good or what is bad, what is just or unjust. Otherwise, we have no relevance. People will not be benefited. So it is undesirable also to make political theorization and analysis value-free. It is undesirable because the mankind will be at a loss. And we have no relevance therefore. We have no utility as political scientists or researchers. Therefore, the post-behavioral revolution focuses on a basic premise of not value-fact dichotomy, but on value-fact association. Values must be associated with facts. We must undertake our academic activities for theorization and analysis on the basis of facts. Yes, facts cannot be ignored. But at the same time, in our analysis and coming to a conclusion, we must prescribe and say what is good or bad, what should be done, what should not be done. So value-fact association is emphasized by the post-behavioral movement as the most important academic concern. At the same time, we must be socially relevant. We must investigate into social problems, socio-economic and political problems faced by mankind. Analyze them on the basis of facts, not on the basis of fiction. So idealism is not the basis of our political theorization and analysis. The basis, the foundation of our analysis must be concrete facts collected through various techniques of data collection. We must analyze them scientifically. By coming to conclusion, we must give our value judgments. Value fact association, not value fact dichotomy. And at the same time, political scientists must become action oriented. We must meet the people. We must inquire into their problems. We must educate them. And at the same time, we must our actions, we must be action oriented through organizing public meetings, campaigns, meeting door to door the people of our locality, meeting the members of the government or the incumbents of the government, meeting the legislators, the bureaucrats, apprising of the problems of the government and what they should do and what they should not. We must be action oriented. Then only we will be socially relevant. Simply confining ourselves to the classroom and writing research works or books will not make us socially relevant and useful. We must be action oriented. So relevance and action, these are the two important academic premises of the post-behavioral movement. And it inspires, it lays the foundation for undertaking political theorization analysis. On the basis of these basic premises of post-behavioral movement, political theories are to be designed, political analysis are to be undertaken. And post-behavioral political theory is characterized by a few prime concerns, therefore. The first one, search for realism, because facts must become the basis. Search for precision. Scientific techniques must be used for data analysis, data collection and analysis. Comprehensiveness, the totality of political life needs to be the scope of our study. But not universalism, not search for universalism, that is deleted. In case of modern political theory, there was the attribute of search for universal law, search for multiculturalism, search for social relevance, search for designing micro intellectual orders or theories. These are the defining attributes of post-behavioral political theorization and analysis. On the basis of, or in conformity with these defining attributes, intellectual endeavors are being undertaken from 1970 onwards till date in designing post-behavioral theories, what are also termed as postmodern theories, or what are also termed as contemporary political theories. So as students of a political science, we must make ourselves aware of the evolution of political theory from antiquity till date. Traditional political theory is characterized by search for formalism, including legalism and institutionalism, and third one, normativism. In case of modern political theory, it is characterized by the academic concerns of search for realism, search for precision, search for comprehensiveness, search for universalism, and search for macro intellectual orders. In case of post-behavioral theory or post-modern theory or contemporary political theory, the defining attributes are search for realism, search for precision, search for comprehensiveness, search for multiculturalism, search for social relevance, and search for micro political intellectual orders. These are the attributes which characterize the nature of political theory and significance of political theory from time to time, from antiquity till date. Political theory which has evolved from time to time through a long process of evolution, and the process of evolution is ever continuing. So as students of political science, we must keep ourselves acquainted with this nature of a political theory, because without political theory, no research work, no analysis can be undertaken meaningfully and systematically. Whatever may be the topic, political topic of research, we must have a relevant political theory with it, because it provides us the guidelines, the defining attributes, the beacon light for our academic endeavors and also for academic development. With this, I conclude. Thank you all.
So thank you, sir. It was wonderful. I think for students, it's a very good, lecture. I understand that no concept is complete. Conceptualization is an ongoing process. And the way you define political theory is the theorizing the politics, theorizing the political life. Politics, political or political life. And if you see the political life or political thought in the traditional approach, in the behavioral approach, even in the post-behavioral approach, you did not say about the problem of post-behavioralism or the impact of post-behavioralism on research today. You did not mention that. We understand that it is not complete, it is not certain. There are mysteries. The political life of an individual, it is incomplete. There are different mysteries. And in the beginning, I made this statement that history of political theory is the mystery of man's political life. I think it is well fit in that juncture. And for the students, let me say that the nature and the significance, there is a close connection. There is a close connection between the nature and significance. And to understand the nature and the significance of political theory, you have to start how political theory evolved. And then you have to follow it, how it has evolved till now. And today we are at the post-behavioral age. And in that, or in this time, I think the attributes mentioned by Guru Sir is brilliant. It's brilliant, but there is a problem actually. There is a close connection between post-behavioralism and post-modernism. There is a close connection. And on one hand, post-behavioralism talks about relevance and meaningfulness. It talks about the combination of values and fact. The combination of values and fact, it means values cannot be detached from the fact. I disagree with Guru Sir on this point, that Guru Sir said that in post-behavioral research, you can collect data, you can analyze data. Data means these are the facts, but in the conclusion, you can give your recommendation. In conclusion, you can give your value proposition. But the point is that that when I'm collecting data, how can I say that my data is a fact? There is no value that is not in it. So what is basically a fact? A fact, what I understand, it is your observation, your value prepositions
Yes.
on a outer object, and what you see, I may not see in that way. So I think it's very difficult to have a dichotomy between the value and fact. So that's why I think, due to this impact of post-behavioralism, the qualitative research that was heavily undertaken by the different universities, qualitative research. That is why, rationalism was put under the question mark, and empiricism, it was given importance. So what you see, that is the truth. What you understand using your intuition, there is a kind of value, and over prioritizing that value may lead to a problematic situation. So that's why this qualitative research was encouraged in this post-behavioral time, or in other words, we can say that this is the instrumental rationality. Instrumental rationality. What is rational for you, that may not be rational for me. There are different arguments,
Yes.
different logic. Now again, the problem is that the problem with the post-behavioral research is that when we are giving a free license to this qualitative research, then actually we are giving freedom to the researcher, that what you understand, that is a reality for you, that may not be reality for me. But if the research is not having any universal kind of impact, then what is the meaning of that research? So that is the most fundamental problem with the research in the post-behavioral age.
Yes.
However, the talk was it was very good. I mean, one can move from point A to point, traditional approach, behavioral approach, post-behavioral approach. One can understand why the political theory has changed its nature. It is because human thought has changed. In the traditional approach, it was all about one-sided. I mean, whatever the institution, legal, historical, it was not all about what human beings think about, what human beings behave. In behavioral, it is all about what human beings are behaving. In the postmodern, I think it is both. It is both. It is institutional, at the same time it is behavioral, because the behavior of an individual is also influenced by legal structure, institutions, histories. The same way, institution, legal, historical, that is also impacted by the human behavior. So in the post-behavioral time or approach, we understand there is a connection, there is no dichotomy. In fact, post-behavioralism, it destroys the dichotomy. But that is something good. But there is also a problem, as I said just before. There is also a problem. If there is no universality, then why should we do research? Whatever I am doing in research, if it has no contribution to the society at the large, if the meaning and relevance, it is only fit at the micro level, then what is the relevance of it? What is the relevance? The same research, I mean, the research what you are undertaking, if I will undertake that research, I may find a different result. And at the end, we can say that, okay, you are right in your context, I am right in my context. But I don't think that that is the main motto of research. So I think, I mean, my question is this: how post behavioralism has positively learned something from the behavioralism.
Yes.
Positively learn. Important is the universality, the search of universality. If that is not there, I think post behavioral research is becoming problematic. And secondly, when you are searching the facts also, there is a value in it. So how to, I mean, when you are collecting facts in the behavioral research and when you are collecting facts in the post behavioral research, what is or what is the difference between these two researchers? I am collecting facts in, I am collecting facts in the behavioral approach and I am collecting facts in the post behavioral approach. What should be, or what is that difference I must have within me? So that's my question to you, sir. Please.
Yes. So far as behavioral research is concerned, the researcher is to be guided by the scientific principles of factualism, objectivism, and causalism. He is not expected to give his value judgments on the topic of his research as to what is good or what is bad. But so far as post-behavioral research is concerned, it brings about a association between facts and values. It doesn't deny that you must not be value-free. It admits that you are value-laden. And therefore, when you collect facts, your values also enter into it. But you must collect facts. Your basis of analysis must not be fiction. You are not to imagine and to do research. You must collect facts on the basis of your values. Meet the people, inquire into their problems, collect facts. And on the basis of facts that you have collected, you undertake an analysis and then come to conclusion as to what is good or what is bad. And regarding the second question, universality of a theory, it is an impossibility. It will be socially irrelevant. You cannot formulate a universal theory which will be of validity for all people of this world. Because every society has its own culture. Behavior of the people of every society is different from the behavior of the people of other societies. Problems of every society is different from the problems of other societies. Problems of an individual is different from the problems of other individuals. Therefore, there is needed to investigate into the problem at the level of the individual, level of the groups, level of the community, and then you collect the data, analyze them, and give your value judgments for the benefit of the individuals. So you are free to do your research work on the basis of your values, on the basis of your value judgments or prescriptions. And the people are to judge. If they find benefited, they will accept you. If they do not find benefited, they will reject you. So to what extent your research activities is useful for the society, relevant for the society, it is the people of the society who are to judge. But you are free to undertake your research, not merely on the basis of crude facts, but on the basis of facts collected through the application of your values inherent in you.
And you have to mention that values.
Yes.
That this is what I am, that's why
Yes.
I see the things as it is.
Yes. So my values are different from your values. On the basis of my values, I will select a problem. I will come to a conclusion. You may arrive at a different conclusion. and will offer it to the people of the society. They are to judge. If they are benefited, they will accept. If they are not benefited, we are socially irrelevant and they will reject us. So where is the problem?
Again, the problem is there, sir. The problem is there. If you see the way, people rejected Galileo, the way people rejected Socrates, it's not that, today we are having, great or intellectual kind of people, right? So it's not that we will give every authority to the outsider. They will decide what is relevant or not. That is also a problem. I think the first part I agree, but the second part, if you see, any kind of theorization is a journey from micro level to a macro level, and we understand that universalization is not possible, but certain kind of reliability must be there. Whatever you are having,
are found to be invalid when tested in case of reality. Say, for instance, political development theory. Political development theory of Lucien W. Pai, it is a moral theory, universal theory. But it cannot be applied in case of India. It cannot be applied in case of Pakistan or Bangladesh or Sri Lanka or any other developing societies. If you apply the theory of a political undeveloped society, will you accept it? No. So it has no universal validity. So great theorization, macro theorization are invalid today in case of
India. I think that is what postmodernism talks about that.
So for political development of India, if you are interested to do undertake research, you have an Indian theory of political development.
But that Indian
even political development in case of Odisha is different from the political development of UP. We have differences.
Then
so
how can you
need to formulate.
Theory?
Yes, you need to formulate micro theories.
Small theories. And we have to see what are the similarities in small theories.
Then you can compare.
You can compare. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, in the chat box, I can see a question asked by the Duroti, and she is writing, how far has postmodernism helped to solve the problem of mankind?
Yes.
Do you think value fact integration has revived the political theory?
Yes, it has made political theory socially relevant. It has made us rise up in public esteem. Otherwise, you have no utility as political scientist or researcher. If people are not benefited by research, how they will be benefited? If you tell them what is good or bad, we must educate them. Then only there is our relevance. Otherwise, we will lose our relevance. And no one will care for us as a political scientist. Therefore, post-behavioral theory and researchers, they make us socially relevant. And that is what Eastern also says. We must be action-oriented. We must meet the people, inquire into their problems. We must meet the members of the government. We must the political parties, the pressure groups, the people at large, educate them. We must tell that this public policy is wrong, that is unjust, it must be repealed or abrogated. Otherwise, who will come to the forefront and tell the people, educate the people? People are laymen. We are specialists. Unless we tell the people, who else will tell them? And we do not have relevance. You may get a degree, you may write a book, but you will not be recognized by the people.
But sir, even if you tell to the people,
yes,
to understand it, people also need some kind of knowledge or intelligence.
Yes, they even if a layman is also a very intelligent person. Do not think that if they do not have degree, they have no cognition. No.
They understand common sense.
Yes, they understand it. They understand what is good or bad. Whether your research findings are beneficial to them or not, they will judge it by themselves. And there lies your relevance.
I think let me bring a clarification here. It's for the students, those who are viewing this, lecture, talk, or dialogue. that this post-behavioral research is not against the behavioral research. You can apply the behavioral
Yes,
technique in
yes.
the post-behavioral research.
I'm giving the statement again. Behavioral movement is a movement of reformation, not a reform. The basic premises were deleted, abolished. Formalism, legalism, institutionalism, normativism were rejected. So post-behavioral movement was essentially a movement of reformation, not reform. But post-behavioral movement is essentially a movement of reform, not reformation. It is a movement of reform. It reformed modern political theorization and analysis by combining facts with values.
I mean, by making this statement, you are presupposing that there will be no next to post-behavioral revolution.
Maybe because
that is what you are
because the
presupposing.
intellectual pursuits are ever going. It is an ongoing process of
It's an ongoing process. I know,
yes.
You know, people are also talking about post-behavioralism.
Yes, maybe.
Right.
But till date, what is at present, that is what we're discussing.
But I think that behavioralism offers a certain research technique, and
yes.
Post-behavioralism is not offering
yes, it is not
technique.
rigid on research techniques. What it says.
It is all about the recognition of that value.
You also understand another statement. Substance must precede technique. It is better to be socially relevant than to be scientifically sophisticated.
You can go beyond the technique. You can go beyond the fact.
But your aim is, your endeavor must aim at collecting data, factual data. You observe them, meet them, collect the data.
Okay, if you apply this post-behavioral approach to understand the issues of relating to a movie, Bollywood movie Adi Purush, then you can say that the kind the kind of treatment the director has given to different actors, it is not being accepted by the Indian psyche or the Hindu psyche.
Yes.
Right? So in that way, I mean, any kind of justification is given by the writer or the director, it is not relevant or it is not meaningful because people are not accepting that.
Yes.
So even if you are giving the hardest argument, hardest logic, but that logic and argument will not stand if you apply the post-behavioral approach to understand that issue. Because post-behavioralism is related with the human values,
Indian values, the cultural values of the people of India that we have inherited from antiquity. So if you challenge our values, if you distort our values, we will not accept it. That is why people reject Adi Purush.
That is true. That is true.
Yes.
So there is another question. I think someone is asking Rangam. I mean, I don't know what is his exact name. Sir, which period political theory was declined? It was traditional period, behavioral period, or post-behavioral period?
It firstly declined in the beginning of or advent of the 20th century. It secondly declined, second time it declined in 1945. Sorry, its second time declined in 1969, 70. Two times declined. It declined towards the end of 19th century, and therefore there emerged the modern political theory, a new definition, the behavioral definition. It was found to decline in 1969 because of the inadequacy of behavioralism, political behavioralism. Therefore, it again was revived through the post-behavioral movement. Two times there was decline and revival.
I think this decline and resurgence, it is two sides of a same coin.
Yes.
If in a perspective it is declining, but in another perspective that it is the point of resurgence.
Yes.
Right.
So the movement is dialectical. Thesis and antithesis, they combine together and produce the synthesis. That is what happens so far as the evolution of political theory is concerned. If traditional political theory is the thesis, modern political theory is the antithesis, and the synthesis is the post-behavioral theory. The process of evolution is dialectical.
And dialectics is a never-ending chain.
Yes.
That you can also, challenge the post-behavioralism.
Yes,
And
certainly.
you can bring the, antithesis as well.
Yes, therefore I invite the present students of political science and researchers to come forward with new theories. I invite them.
So it's not complete. It's incomplete.
Yes.
It is continuous. Sir, another question is asked. Sir, you told about various theories and their foundation, group theory, game theory, etc. I want to note that. Can you explain again? No, Pratima, I am not getting your question. Can you
I am
directly
giving
ask?
I had given the instances of a few modern theories. First one, decision-making theory of Harold de Laswell.
Oh,
Power theory of Robert et al. Group theory of David Truman. Game theory of William H. Riker. Systems theory of David Stern. Theory of structural functional analysis of Gabriel Almond.
functional.
And political cybernetic theory of Carl W. Dutz. Political participation theory of Lester W. Milbrath. Political development theory of Lucien W. Pai and his associates. These are a few major modern political theories.
In fact,
Without them, no
these are different
research.
models.
Yes, these
These
are the
are different
models. These are the
models to
theories.
understand
Yes,
a political
these provide
phenomenon.
guidelines to us for undertaking empirical research activities.
I think, sir, there is no more other question. SOR. Sir, please explain SOR.
Subhasri raised question. SOR principle, SOR co-relationship. S stand for stimuli, the causal factors. O stand for organism, the individual. R for response, meaning there were the behavior or activities. This is SOR relationship or co-relationship. So your behavior is determined or conditioned or emanates from your psychology. Psychology, your causal factors, and your psychology is conditioned by your biology. The political behavior of a male is different from the political behavior of a female. The political behavior of a rich man is different from the political behavior of a poor man. The political behavior of a Brahmin is different from the political behavior of a scheduled tribe. The political behavior of a Hindu is different from the political behavior of a Muslim. These are the differences. This is SOR paradigm or SOR principle or correlations.
Sir, O stand for organization.
Organism, individual.
As a stimulus, organism, and response.
Response means behavior. O means organism. S for stimulus or stimuli. The causal factors. So we must find out the causal factors and bring about the correlationship between cause and effect.
You are saying there is an organic relation between the stimulus and response.
Yes.
Okay. So that's it. I think there is no more other question now. I request my student Duroti to provide vote of thanks to the speaker. Yes, Duroti.
Yes, sir. A very good evening to you all.
Duroti, we cannot hear you.
Okay. Am I audible?
No, we cannot. Still, we cannot hear you. You are clearly visible.
Unmute karo sir.
Am I visible? Am I audible?
No. Are you using a earphone?
No, I'm not.
Sir, she is audible from my side.
I am audible?
Yes.
You can now hear me?
She is audible from my side.
Who is this Dorothy? Is he first semester student or second semester?
Is second semester, and she is from Nigeria, Africa.
Achha.
Am I now audible?
Not audible.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can use your phone,
Yes, sir.
smartphone.
There is no need to give a vote of thanks. No need at all. I would like to meet the students in the department premises. Or maybe in your chamber.
Am I audible?
Yeah, audible.
Okay, sir. First of all, let me express my gratitude to our moderator tonight, Dr. Mishra, for giving me the opportunity. For giving me the opportunity to propose vote of thanks tonight. Thank you so much, sir. A very special thanks to our keynote speaker tonight, Professor Guru, for accepting to be with us tonight and for the well-packed discussion. So your in-depth discussion, explanation of the subject matter, political theory, you have given us a broad understanding of what constitutes political theory. Many times we swim in the pool of confusion on what is political theory, what constitutes political theory, how is it important, how is it relevant in the contemporary period. So how we have explained how political theory has evolved from the Aristotle period to the 19th century to the beginning of behavioral period and to the postmodernism has given us an understanding that political theory is not static but rather dynamic. But also the relevance of political theory can be seen from how from its possibility to integrate itself with science, but also how it helps us to understand the political phenomena, the social phenomena, which are very vital if you are talking about the contemporary era. So I also want to thank you for your selfless attitude towards this. Indeed, it was said somewhere that education is a premises for progress, and your determination, but also your selfless attitude is indeed molding us and taking us from the cage of ignorance. Thank you so much, sir. I really thank you for your presence. I would also want to appreciate my fellow participants who have squeezed time out of their busy schedule to participate in this discussion. And I believe they would agree with me, it wasn't a waste of time. It was a well-packed discussion, and I thank you all. Continue enjoying your evening. Good night.
So thank you, Durati. It was really wonderful. I mean, you are very good with your language and with your words. You appropriately understood what the speaker told, and I hope that other participants have also understood the relevance of this topic. Though the topic is very simple, I mean, it's not so simple. You know, we usually say that if the question is simple, then answer is always complex. And if the question is complex, then the answer will become simple. So thank you one and all. So thank you, Professor Guru. Sir, namaskar. Sir, you have to unmute, sir.
I have a word for the students participants here. Most of the students may not have understood it adequately because this is a web discussions, not a classroom. If they feel so, for clarity of understanding, for answering or for clarity of understanding regarding their questions and queries, they may contact it and chat with me in my WhatsApp number. My WhatsApp number is available. If they do not have, they may take note of it. They may directly WhatsApp me and discuss their academic problems and queries.
So I will share your number with my student.
Yes, you share my number with them. My mobile number is my WhatsApp number. There is no problem.
So, okay. So thank you, sir. Sir, namaskar.
Namaskar.